big guys for about half the cost. The average family is saving over $800 a year. You can keep your number and keep your phone or get huge discounts on the latest iPhones and Androids. Unlimited talk, text, and 6 gigs of data is just $30 a month. Or if you want unlimited data, you can still save a fortune. With US-based customer service, Pure Talk treats their customers right. Plus, they have a 30-day risk-free guarantee, so you literally have nothing to lose. From your cell phone, dial pound 250 and say Jill 50 to save 50% off your first month. That's pound 250, say Jill 50. Pure Talk is simply smarter wireless.
Planning to travel for the holidays? ABC's Gio Benitez says air travel should be booked now because after Halloween, deals will disappear.
With airlines getting rid of cancellation and change fees, booking now, no matter what, may be a good move because even if you're not totally sure about travel right now, you can get the tickets anyway because you can change them later. Those airline policies really are in your favor right now.
United Airlines is planning for a high holiday demand by hiring thousands of pilots. Netflix reported subscriber growth, but not all streaming services are saying the same.
Antonio Soprano.
Despite a couple of high-profile drops, including the Sopranos prequel movie, HBO and HBO Max lost almost 2 million subscribers in the U.S. in the third quarter. The company says it was down 1.8 million subs, thanks largely to pulling its service off Amazon Prime, a decision they hope will be short-term pain for long-term gain. Worldwide, subscribers were up 1.9 million, and Warner Media thinks the fourth quarter will be strong, thanks to Succession, a new Matrix movie.
It's not safe for you here.
And Dune, which hits the streaming service Thursday evening. Jason Nathanson, ABC News, Hollywood.
Volvo is recalling another 195,000 vehicles in the U.S. because the front driver's airbags could explode, sending shrapnel into the cabin. The new director of the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau is ordering Apple, Amazon, PayPal, and other tech giants to reveal how their proprietary payment networks function. This is ABC News.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the two-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for two by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
The biggest Halloween event in Chicagoland is coming to the Dirt Oval at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. This Saturday, October 23rd. It's the Eve of Haunted Destruction, featuring a trunk or treat and costume contest for all ages. With figure 8 school bus racing, lawnmower derby, power wheels derby, and extreme trailer racing to win the night. This Saturday, October 23rd. Trunk or treat from 4 till 6. Event starts at 6. Tickets available online at dirtoval66.com and on site the night of the event. dirtoval66.com.
It's October, and most of us aren't really thinking about the upcoming winter. The wind, the bitter cold, the snow. But here at Morningstar Mission, winter is all we think about right now. You see, while every day at Morningstar Mission is busy, it's during the winter and holiday seasons that things get busier than ever, as the weather gets colder and the needs get tougher.
Sometimes you didn't have all the clothes that you would need. So you'd box up with cardboard or you'd, tidy up with newspaper underneath your clothing.
Yes, it's October, but it's not too early to get involved in helping Morningstar Mission prepare for the increased needs that happen during the winter and holiday seasons. Each gift of $2.48 is all it takes to provide a meal and care for one person who will come in out of the cold this winter.
It just felt like a big weight lifted off my shoulders. This person is making me some food. You don't even know my name. These are the places that make you believe that something is better out there.
Give online today at morningstarmission.org.
Exam 4 needs to be sanitized.
Bersana's MRI clinic isn't operating at max efficiency. She needs a new certified tech certifiably now.
Someone's waiting in room 2 for an ACL scan. Can you handle that?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed, you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The Armstrong and Getty Show poses the question: can you be informed? Can you be up on the news of the day and the issues without being bored? We say yes, you can. The Armstrong and Getty Show.
Not just boring, biased political talk. The Armstrong and Getty Show is entertaining, informative, with political commentary, observations on local, national, and international news, and reflections on social issues. Weekdays at 10 a.m. here on 1340 WJOL.
There's confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. One thing is certain. Whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer to check for fever, the leading sign of flu and COVID. Be vigilant and contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever. Don't rely on non-contact thermometers that have no scientific studies. Only the Exergen temporal scanner thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Learn more at exergen.com.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere. From County Line Road to the Indiana line. From Reed Road to Boughton Road. Football is king. High School Football 2021 on 1340 WJOL.
Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to the Week 8 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodagero. Evan, the sheriff, Bredesen spinning the dials, and ladies and gentlemen, this edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents Kevin Malloy in New Lenox and John Wright in Joliet. Like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
The WJOL game of the week, 7:30 kickoff in lovely Lombard, Illinois.
Yes.
Joliet Catholic at Montini Catholic. By all means, go see my friend over at Frankie's Deli before. Get a nice meal. I know some of you JCA folks are going to go experience Frankie's. I highly recommend it. If you follow my Twitter, you know that. But that is the kickoff, 7:30. You can hear right here on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com. Evan Bredesen begins the evening's events with Friday Night Lights at 6:05. Then Dave Dwyer with his 50-minute pregame. So make sure you join us. And Saturday, ladies and gentlemen, the WJOL playoff pairing show. Johnny Handsome, Joe Rodagero, along with Dave Dewey Dwyer and Evan Bredesen, taking care of all your playoff needs Saturday evening. And yeah, I won't be here.
I'm saddened by that.
Oh, well, it's okay. I'll be part of the IHSA broadcast, so I'll be online before and after the not quite ready for primetime players, if you will. I'm going to use that line Saturday, so you're welcome for the preview. All right, Joe, no screwing around tonight. No Big Five because none of you care. We're on the eve of the playoffs. Throwing out a question immediately to the listeners. Lockport fans, yes, listen up. Lincoln Way East, Bolingbrook, yes, listen up. Joe?
Yes, sir.
Johnny Handsome?
Yep, ready.
Got a question for you.
Yes, sir.
How good is the Southwest Suburban Blue?
Oh, boy.
And I would like a definite answer, please, because I have some thoughts that I will share. Okay, sure. I'll share them first. So I've seen Lockport live. I've seen Lincoln Way East live. I've seen HF live. I've seen Bolingbrook live. Pretty good sample size, I would say.
Yes.
No one seems to be offensively extra special. So my question to you, Handsome Johnny, is this a very strong defensive conference, or are we lacking a little bit defensively or offensively, or maybe a little bit of both?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think there's I did not see HF this year. I saw Bolingbrook. Well, I saw all the big games with Bolingbrook and Lockport, East and Lockport, Lockport and East. And I think the defenses are very good. Again, Mr. Timashek was not quarterbacking. I don't know if he would have made much of a difference last Friday night, as I told you. Could have,
Well, even so with Hayden, and to be fair, the offense hasn't been crazy.
No, I just think if you're going to compare this year to years in the past, I think the offenses are lacking compared to years in the past.
Yes. And that scares me going into a postseason.
And again, every team has something that I haven't seen age up, but the big three are area teams. Offensively, especially in the second half, I've very, very little scoring.
Yeah.
So
that's scary.
Yeah. And that is
because
scary.
here you go. Okay. 8A, Maine South, Loyola. You can go up and down the line. Now, let's be fair. I'll tell you right now, defensively, I think all of those teams are pretty good.
I agree.
But I still haven't seen a better defense than Warren yet this year. So keep that in the back of your mind.
And again, they are good defenses that we have out of those three, but they're not scoring points.
Right.
They may get turnovers.
That's the goal on offense, Joe.
Yeah. Really?
To score, yes. Believe it or not, to score points.
It really is.
How about that,
all right. All right.
815-254-7300. Look, if you want nice talk and you want us to puff up your teams, go turn somewhere else. I hear there's a live stream on tonight where they'll pump you up. Yeah, I had a little bit of caffeine tonight. I'm a little fired up.
Coffee already. He's all set.
It's playoff time, so it's time to get to the nitty gritty. All you 3 and 5 and belows, I'm sorry, you're probably not getting in. So move on. Don't just let's get into this.
All
I
right.
really want to know what you think out there. I want to hear from Lockport fans. Convince me otherwise. Tell me that there's no, that you're feeling really good about this team and that we haven't even begun to see what this team can do offensively. And it's just not Lockport. Lincoln Way East, tell me that.
Yes.
Tell me you guys are confident that this offense, when you're in crunch time in the second half in this 8A playoff game against, again, any number of opponents, you can rally offensively. And if it's a shootout, you can win that game.
Could be a round one game. I mean, you just never.
Bolingbrook, if someone slows up that run game, then what?
Yep.
815-254-7300. Would love to hear from you. If you're watching us on the stream, I've got the chat feature wide open for you. Let us know. Am I nuts? Well, I'm already edgy, but am I nuts? I don't know, Joe. Pack Show.
You better watch that. You better watch that word down.
We're fine, Joe. We're fine.
All right.
Pack Show. Again, Gavin Johnston just announced as the Chicago Bears IHSA Coach of the Week for Week 8 action, Joe. A
Good
huge
for
win
him.
over Coal City. Congratulations to Gavin.
Yes.
We will talk to him around the 6:25 portion of the show. Alan Thorson, huge game for Morris, taking on Sycamore, team that I was able to see in person, so we'll be able to get on the nitty-gritty of what the Morris football team gets to face. 7 o'clock hour, Luke Lokank. Oh, by the way, it's playoff football at Lincoln Way West tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
As they host HF in a huge game. Michael Bryan, Joliet's favorite son, as I'm referring to him now, forever and ever. Mike will join us. Certainly, Mike has also seen his share of football across Chicagoland this year. Like to get some thoughts from him in the 7 o'clock hour of his thoughts heading into the playoffs. And Joe, our guy,
yes,
Matt Lang, co-host of the Third and Lang podcast. You must listen to, by the way. You can find that at EDGYTIM.com. We talk small school football with Matt, and he will have plenty to say in preview going into the pairing. So again, love to hear from you, Joe. I know last week, fill us in. I know you had a game on Friday.
Yeah, I was at the Lockport Lincoln Way East game. Like I said, all the scoring done in the first half. Well, not in the first half. There was scoring in the second half, but just a defensive struggle. You and I have talked about that.
Yep.
In every game that we've had with Bolingbrook, Lockport, and Plainfield East, I've because of what we just talked about with the offenses, it's a defensive struggle. And at times, both teams did move the football. Lockport had a score late in the game and didn't get the onside kick. but basically Lincoln Way East kind of controlled things in the second half with their defense.
Did I hear quarterback get hurt late in that game?
Yes. Mr. Stolaric, he got a first down. I don't know. I'm not going to say, but yeah, he did get hurt. The ball was punched out from behind. He was tackled from behind, and so hopefully that young man is okay. In the first half, he really looked good. He really a lot better than I've seen him in the previous games that I had with Lincoln Way East.
Give Rob and Coach Palisari a lot of credit moving Trey Johnson, or is it Trey or Troy Johnson?
Trey Johnson.
Yes. Into the backfield was a really good move for them midseason.
I made the comment on Friday, especially in the first. He's got great feet.
Yeah.
He's great instincts.
And he really attacks the line of scrimmage. I think that's what he's kind of brought to that run game.
Right.
A little bit of explosiveness when he hits that hole, and he's a hard-nosed runner. So
that was a nice
call for them offensively.
Yeah, he's very good.
Again, I was able to go up out in the western suburbs, see Hersey and Prospect, and same game every year. It's always close. It's always a big rivalry game. Prospect gets a 1-point win. Both will be in 7A. I don't know. Do we have any 7A teams projected in the area? I don't know if we do. Maybe Lincoln Way West if they get in.
Yes.
I think they might be the only one. And while Lincoln Way West is familiar with both those programs. So, and they're both very good. And then Saturday I went down to Springfield, saw Decatur MacArthur beat Springfield in a shootout in a quagmire. Springfield Memorial, Joe.
I've seen that football field.
Allegedly, they are in the process of putting turf in there. I will hold out hope until we actually see that happen. But that's the word down in Springfield is that eventually they are going to turf that. And when they do, it'll be wonderful. I love the location. You've got that baseball field right next to
Park
it.
right next to it.
It's a great, I love that. I love going to games there. I have for a long time, going back to when Sacred Heart was playing their home games there. So, yeah, it was an interesting trip. And by the way, when your brackets come out, Decatur MacArthur, if they wind up, they've got to beat Jacksonville Friday. They wind up in 4A, 5A. Keep an eye on them. They'll win a round or two. They're a pretty good team. So, pretty good team. All right.
We mentioned. I just want to mention.
Yes, sir.
I didn't get the young man's name that you said from East St. Louis.
Luther Burden.
He's a special player, very special player. I saw some tape on him yesterday, and I went, wow.
Committed to Missouri the other night. 5-star recruit, had offers literally from every major program in the country. And by the way, they are on their way to Jackson State University.
Right.
They will take on IMG Academy tomorrow night. And again, all the credit in the world to Coach Sunkett and the Flyers. And you know what? Maybe we'll sneak them on during the playoffs. Because, Joe, I got a feeling
we could have a collision course.
And I think I know where that collision course might wind up, my friend.
Really?
Yes.
Down there, huh?
No.
Oh, yeah. I saw.
You know where I think it might wind up?
My former school.
I think it might wind up at your former school. How about a quarterfinal between Lamont and East St. Louis? That would be interesting.
It sure would.
So if that's the case, we'll definitely get Darren Sunken on and talk about their schedule this year, which has been spectacular.
Yes,
honestly.
it has been.
So again, so congratulations to the Flyers making that trip down there to Jackson State. By the way, they're kind of a midway point for both of them.
Right.
And again, Jackson State, one of the just black historic colleges that should be a really, really good atmosphere and a good setting for that ball game tomorrow night. So again, we are. Yes, Evan.
I was just going to ask, didn't they just redo all the facilities down there? Because Deion Sanders is the coach at Jackson State.
Right. And that was part of this.
And that was part of his deal. He has a lot of connections, I think, with Under Armour or one of the brands.
Under Armour and
has
ESPN
gotten them to put a ton of money forward to help build. And I know Barstool Sports did a whole Hard Knocks show about his first season. They were behind the scenes and showing him going to meetings where he's having to examine field turf and actually do the small little things that a coach has to do that you're
well, that's FCS.
Deion Sanders willing to do that. And it looks like by all appearances, based on what the early returns are at that facility, it's beautiful.
And that's been part of this is that they continue to bring events and something like this together to, bring attention to all the changes that they've done. So great, go down there and play, again, another national power. So we'll see how the Flyers end up faring. All right, we're going to step aside. When we come back, we will go out. We'll be joined by Gavin Johnson, the head coach of Reed Custer. Joe, our brand new buddy,
Yes.
And he is the Chicago Bears IHSA Coach of the Week for Week 8, a statewide award. We'll get his first reaction here on Pigskin Preview. You are listening to Week 9 edition. My, oh my, does this come and go so fast. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Your work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
Throughout the centuries and different cultures, all funerals have been an essential part of life, each one being unique and meaningful to help us honor a life and to say goodbye to our loved ones. Here at Farkas Funeral Home, we have affordable, customizable packages to help you create a meaningful service for your loved one. From cremation with memorial services to full traditional burials, we offer it all. Call us today at 815-725-0100 or visit us at farkasfuneralhome.com.
The high school football season ends this Friday night. The regular season, that is. Now the fun begins. 1340 WJOL presents the High School Football Playoff Show. This Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Where will your favorite team play in Week 1? What is their road like to a state championship? We'll hear from the coaches, fans, and experts, and see what the second season will look like. The Playoff Pairing Show, live on WJOL Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Presented by Tire Tracks USA.
Are you struggling to keep up with your kids, your finances, your insurance, your life? Then let State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen help you simplify and get to a better state. Because with Michelle Kerfin handling your auto, home, and life insurance, you'll have more time to handle everything else and more money too. Because adding State Farm policies can earn discounts that could add up to 40% and actually help you get ahead. Call State Farm agent Michelle Kerfin in Homer Glen and get to a better state with State Farm. Find Michelle online at insurewithmichelle.com.
Money Talks is back. Here's a keyword that could be worth $1,000. $1,000. Take this keyword, log on to WJOL.com, and enter it for your chance to win. The keyword is...
Spine is the keyword, spine. Money Talks brought to you by Marcio Tile and Carpet, 910 South State Street in historic downtown Lockport. Quality floors for every lifestyle. Marcio Tile and Carpet.
It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere.
Friday night, Tire Tracks USA brings you high school football. Joliet Catholic looks to complete a perfect regular season. They play at Montini. You'll hear it live from Lombard starting at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday night at 7:30, the high school football playoff pairing show. Find out where your favorite team is going and who they'll play in round 1.
Your official home for Joliet and Will County sports is 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports. EDGYTIM here along with the coach, Joe Rodagaro, Evan Brennison, the sheriff, and we are thrilled to be back. We are on the eve, gentlemen, of IHSA playoff football. I know the next guest we are going to bring in is excited. And guys, I am very happy to introduce you to the Week 8 Chicago Bears IHSA statewide Coach of the Week, our very own Gavin Johnston from Reed Custer. Congrats, sir.
Hey, thanks a lot. Thanks again for having me.
When did you find out about the award?
Believe it was yesterday. I had an assistant coach call me and like, hey, our athletic director got an email. Do you know anything about this? No, I know nothing about it. So it was a nice surprise, and definitely took me back a little bit.
Yeah, it's a great program, and I've been honored to be involved with them for a while. And what's neat about it, Coach, is you'll actually get to go down to a game. I believe they have a coaching clinic for all the Coach of the Week winners. I believe there's a financial donation made to the football program or the athletic program, and it's just it's really done top notch, and it's a great program and reward for the coaches as well as the all-star players. So again, well deserved. Huge win last week against Coal City, and like we said, I know you've got one more on the agenda. Certainly at Hersher, anytime you play Hersher, you got to bring your A game. But boy, it's been a heck of a year so far for Reed Custer.
Yeah, it's been awesome. The community and the involvement that we've had here is just something spectacular to see. Our fans have been awesome. I mean, our bleachers have been a little bare the last few years. I've been here as an assistant or a head coach now for 11 years. We've had a couple 0 wins, couple 1 wins, couple 2 wins, and the best we've had is a 3-win season. So to see how the kids turn around and, with our coaching staff, I got to thank those guys as well for all the support they've given us. And, we just had the right kids at the right time. And like I talked about last time on here, they're just committed to the room. It's just great to kind of see everything turn around so quickly.
Gavin, first of all, congratulations on the Coach of the Week. And I know as he talks about that and all the good things that come your way, it's well deserved. And also, too, I don't know if my man to my left knows this, but I think that's the first time Reed Custer has beat Coal City in 12 or 13 years.
Yeah, I think it was a 2009 season. So I was in college then.
Let's see. I couldn't. I know where I was at, but I'm not going to tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But again, watching the game, the little bit that I got on tape, 370 yards rushing. The offensive line did a great job, I thought. And the one thing I noticed too about the offensive line is that when you do the option in that guys really get downfield for you and block to that second and third level.
Yeah, absolutely. And our offensive line, made up of Eric Hausman, Cody Marshner, Gunnar Berg, Chris Hill, and Ty Hart. You said they did a phenomenal job. And being a 3A school, 3 of them also played defensively on the D line. They held Coal City to less than 75 yards rushing as well. But those kids, they take pride in what they do. We do Players of the Week each week, and all 5 of them were named Players of the Week this week for our team.
Awesome.
So, and they're sitting right by each other in the locker room, of course, too. I think they have a nice chemistry going there. They take a lot of pride in, hitting people hard and often, and they'll go downfield and they'll block all the way to the whistle. That's for sure.
So I want to know what the plans are for Saturday.
He's talking to me.
No, not you, Joe. I want to know what Gavin and his coaches and his team is going to do Saturday night when the playoff pairings come up. Because, Coach, I don't know if I'm the first one to inform you, but you've made the playoff field. So, congrats.
Yes. Oh, hey, how about that?
There you go. There you go.
Yeah.
So, what are the plans?
So our plans are we're going to have the kids come in here about 6 o'clock. We have a gridiron club that has just done phenomenal works for our football program. They've laid a lot of money. They are extremely hardworking group of parents and just people who support our team. They have organized a taco truck to come here.
Nice.
So we're going to have some tacos. We have a brand new state-of-the-art cafeteria here. We can space our kids out in here. We have a big projection screen. We're going to watch it. We're going to watch our film from against Hersher. We're going to watch it together as a team and a family and celebrate it. And then as soon as we see what's going on, we're going to get on the phone and try to get some film on whoever it is we play. So pretty big deal here. It hasn't been done in 12 years, 13 years. So we're going all out for it.
Yeah, you absolutely have to. By the way, and I'm going to remind you this on Saturday, you have to send me a picture of your guys lined up with the taco truck.
Yeah.
That sounds good.
I will definitely share
do that.
I will definitely share that out on social media and what have you. That'll be awesome.
Awesome.
So, as far as prep, and again, look, I know you got a game tomorrow. I know you're playing Hersher. What extent do you attempt to even look at the field, or have you even looked at the field? You can lie to us now. So.
Oh, it's hard not to look at the field. You have to. So, yeah, we've been looking at it, and it's just crazy to go through this. I mean, the only time I've been through it was as a player. So I did what Coach Capel told me to do, and we just went out there and did what we were supposed to do as a player. So it's definitely a lot of questions have been asked. We're trying to figure out things as we go. I mean, I know some things about some teams, but a lot of teams we have never seen before, and I just have heard here and there about teams that we could possibly match up with. So, and like you said, we have to focus on Hersher this week. It's Coach Wetzel's last ever game as well. I know that their kids are going to play hard for him as he's retiring after the season too.
Kevin, who's the, I'm going to call him the brain of the playoff. Who's the guy that actually dives into all this stuff and kind of gives you an idea about the playoffs and the teams you might play?
Yeah, who's the nerd behind the scenes?
Who's that guy?
Well, I follow Steve Succi there, so I'm getting a lot of information there. But on staff, Nick Klein, he's our assistant AD, the offensive coordinator. He was over at Hersher actually when they had a couple of nice runs a few years ago. So he's on there all the time. He's talking to me about how you do things and how coaches normally. I'm like, hey, how do we even schedule the games? Like, I don't even know what time we're playing. How's this work? It's all new. So he's definitely helping us out through that.
Is there a coaching mentor that maybe you've gone back to and talked a little bit about this stuff?
Well, if it's a Custer, I played here, so I haven't talked to Coach Capel about it yet, but most of the time it's you with Nick Klein again. I try to reach out to some coaches in the conference as well, and kind of get some information. I'm sure I'll be giving Coach Reens a call, a guy that's been there 25 straight years.
Yep.
So he would gladly help out, I'm sure. So it's there's definitely a lot of help that goes into all this because it's new and it's pretty complex. That's for sure.
Yeah, as long as you're not in the same class, he'll be your best friend now.
That's right.
Yeah. I hope they stay two-way. It would be nice to play them again, but at the same time, it'd be great to see two schools make a nice run too.
Yeah, see the conference spread out a little bit
Yes,
and see some success.
Yes.
Yeah, there's no doubt you would love to see that for sure. Everything you look at, and again, I know how much people do and don't put value in the polls and what have you, but I got to think, Gavin, you got to feel good about the conference this year and just how well prepared, hopefully, it's going to have you for the playoffs. Because, you look at the top of the conference, boy, everybody seems to love the top of your conference.
Well, when you have teams like Wilmington and Coal City, how can you not?
Yep.
But yeah, our ICE conference has definitely given us some nice tests this year. Peatone and Lyle, two other teams that are, for sure going to make the playoffs. And Hersher has only won 2 games, but they started off the year 2-0 and have a nice win against the Rochelle team as well.
Yep.
So each year and each week in the ICE conference, you have to bring it, and that's what's been nice to get the experience this year.
Gavin, going into tomorrow night's game and beyond, of course, what's the one thing that you would like to see the guys work on, or one thing you kind of would like to see get better?
It's been the last couple of weeks. We kind of treated going into this last game against Coal City. We're acting like the playoffs have started now. That was a huge win for our program, and we knew that we needed that win to gain the confidence. So really, it's kind of weird, but we went back to the basics. We did some tackling drills. We got tackling wheels, and we struggled with some fundamental things here and there. Went back to our base plays offensively and defensively, just reviewed everything because, when it gets crunch time, you got to have that one play or that one situation that you're going to make a play in. So we just wanted to make sure we went back over everything again one final time. And now we'll re-add some things and little trinkets here and there and hopefully be prepared.
So before we cut you loose, and again, I appreciate you taking time. I know you've been busy. Is there a coach's post party after the brackets? In case I'm going to be driving back up that way from Normal. Anywhere in particular where I might need to stop in?
We'll invite you if there is one for sure. I'm sure we can make that happen.
Yeah, I got a feeling you guys might celebrate.
Yes, come on, those guys be diving into films all as soon as that taco truck leaves.
Yeah, they will, but I think they're going to learn to enjoy this one a little bit.
Yes,
Gavin, congrats again, man.
Yes, congratulations.
Hey, thanks again. I really appreciate all the kind words, and I really appreciate the support and the attention you're giving our program and the kids.
You bet. Well, we're going to stay on you, so like it or not, we're with you now.
Yeah, you'll hear from me Saturday night sometime.
Thanks, Joe.
All right.
All
Take
right.
care, Gavin.
Gavin Johnson joining us from Reed Custer again. Joe, terrific story this year.
A great story. You love to hear these things, especially the teams in our area.
All right, here's a tough question for you. You ready?
Yes.
Who's the coach of the year?
Oh, boy.
Boy, there's a couple names that would come right off the top of my head.
Well, Gavin's got to be one of them.
Yep.
With the turnaround they have.
Yep.
Boy, oh boy.
How about Rob Keane over at Plainfield Central?
There's
It's another great story.
Yep.
Anyone else?
Again, I'm kind of a little prejudiced, but I'd say George.
Yeah. Been a lot of talk of them having the big year, and they finally living up to it.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So that we're gonna have those talks over the next few weeks.
Yes.
We're gonna start breaking down some players in the area, certainly in the Will County area, player of the year, coach of the year, fun stuff like that.
Yes.
Favorite Halloween candy. Joe, one of your favorites.
I try to stay away from that bucket. I try.
Sure you do. We all do.
I try.
We all do. I have to make my trip to Sam's Club soon. Buy the extra large bag of candy.
She's probably got all the candy already.
Probably hiding it from you.
Hiding from the grandkids.
There's no doubt. Yeah, how about it with those grandkids rolling through there?
Watch out.
Yeah, there's no doubt.
Noni, what do you got to eat?
Going into the playoffs, first year as a coach and staff. Who would you go to?
Gordy Gillespie.
Yeah, I was going to think Seth. Maybe back then.
Oh, if it was
a guy
football,
like that,
yeah, I mean,
if it was
I'm
football,
talking baseball. I mean,
yeah.
Gordy or Seth, without a doubt.
Yep.
Without a doubt.
Yep. I'd go to Rob Zvonar, but I don't think he's ever picking up my phone calls again ever more. I feel so bad.
Poor guy.
So bad. We do a big thing. We congratulate him on his 200th win, and he goes out and he loses to Sandberg that night. Oh my God.
But again, some advice.
Sorry, Rob.
If they want any advice from an old guy, being a head coach for the first time back in 90, I should say.
They had helmets back then?
Well, this is with baseball.
Oh,
just
okay.
don't.
So no.
Just let it flow. Don't do anything extra. Don't do it. Don't try to
Do what got
yourself.
you there.
Yeah, do what you. Yeah, exactly.
There you go.
Do what you do.
All right, we're going to step aside and take a break. When we come back, right back out to the phone lines, Alan Thorson, Morris will join us. Huge game for Morris. They are hosting Sycamore tomorrow night. Gigantic game. And we will get into it with the head coach of the Morris Football Club. You're listening to the weeknight edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. We'll be right back.
You've set your financial goals. One kid plans to go Big Ten, the other Ivy. Your bucket list includes seaside sunrises and sunsets on the slopes, or perhaps a second home away from it all. Busey Bank can help develop the right investment strategy to take charge of the years ahead. Busey Bank, building business, growing wealth since 1868. Proud to be the official bank of the Fighting Illini. Member FDIC.
How time flies when you're having fun, or at least trying to have fun. In 2020, we lost a season, and while we will never be able to get that back, the Molloy State Farm team is happy to be back on board with EDGYTIM and Coach Radagaro as the title sponsor of the Pigskin Preview. So here's to the players, the coaches, and the parents who have been waiting for this moment. Give it your best effort. Make it memorable. And on Monday, give the Molloy State Farm team a call at 815-463-5800 to get our best effort at saving you money.
Keeping your tax information safe keeps your business safe. That's why Greg Severson at Cordano, Severson and Associates goes above and beyond to keep your business tax information private. This includes keeping everything he does local to our community. There's no outsourcing services overseas like the big firms do, or storing sensitive documents in places where online hackers have easy access. And Greg Severson has taken multiple measures behind the scenes to protect his clients from tax identity fraud. Give yourself peace of mind for your business. Call Greg Severson at Cordano, Severson and Associates. Beyond keeping your business safe from tax hackers, Greg will set you up for the ever-changing business tax landscape to give you the best tax advantages. Call Cordano, Severson and Associates, a firm you can trust and your business can afford. Co-founder and proud member of the Will Buy Local Alliance. Do you have tax prep experience but are tired of making the commute downtown? Cordano Severson is hiring qualified tax professionals. Inquire today by calling 815-744-1900. That's 815-744-1900.
Hi, break time? I know you. I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself.
I do. I play tennis. I try to eat well.
What about screening for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit requestcologuard.com.
I'm on it.
Excellent.
Fall into savings on your next project with 11% off at Menards. Spruce up your home with appliances from top brands including Whirlpool, Amana, KitchenAid, Maytag, and Criterion. Check out the largest in-stock selection of appliances to take home today at the lowest prices and get 11% off now at Menards. Good through October 23rd. Savings are mail-in rebate. Some exclusions apply. See store for details.
Save big money at Menards.
Pigskin Preview with EDGYTIM on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News, Talk, Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro, and Evan Bredesen, the sheriff, spinning the dials. And Joe.
Yes, sir.
It's fall. It's playoff football time. Boy, is there any better time of the year than being Morris?
No.
Not at all. Okay, Cornfest. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'll give you that.
We
I'll give you that, Alan Thorson. I'll give you
that.
that.
Cornfest.
Cornfest is a pretty good time to be in Morris, but doesn't get much better a playoff time. And Joe, there is going to be a playoff atmosphere out at Morris High School tomorrow night. Sycamore, the Spartans, Joe Ryan come to town. Huge game. Game. And joining us, Alan Thorson from Morris. Coach, welcome aboard.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate the opportunity to talk to you.
Whenever you two guys get together, it's a big deal. It's always a big game. There always seems to be something on the line. And, boy, I don't think you could handpick really a better Week 9 opponent than Sycamore.
No, honestly, it's worked out probably is everything we could have asked for. I mean, I think we're playing great football right now. To be sitting at 8-0 and then obviously to have a chance to play for a conference title on our home field. And then against a great opponent. I love the matchup, the fact that we're playing a good team like Sycamore, and just the fact that we can do this Week 9 leading up into the playoffs. I think it's just a great test to get our guys ready for hopefully what's a long playoff run also. So, yeah, it's a great it's going to make for a great game, a great atmosphere, and hopefully we can bring home a conference title.
Well, and again, I know Joe Ryan already talked about having to go to Morris and play at Morris and the atmosphere. And because as you know, Alan, I've been up to Sycamore too, and it's pretty comparable. I mean, their home field advantage is a big advantage. They get a great community turnout. But, it's never easy playing these guys, but you got to feel a little bit better being at your place.
Oh, absolutely. But, yeah, I mean, you said it. We were talking to the kids today just about this has kind of become our rival. I mean, we've had some conference turnover and realignment or whatever. And, I think the Coal City game's a great close, rivalry from a proximity standpoint. It's a close team, but from a conference standpoint, this has really been the team probably for going on 6-7 years now. It's kind of been us and them, and there's really been a lot of balance. I mean, it's probably. I'm not exact sure on the numbers, but I'm pretty positive it's either dead even or one game favoring one or the other. It's a close rivalry, and it's kind of gone in twos. So, Sycamore's got us the last 2 times. I know we got them the 2 before that. So we're kind of hoping we can turn the tides and get them on our field. And, again, it's really one of those games I think our kids have had circled since the spring. We lost a really close game to them. Great game. I mean, it was a great game, but we really felt like we had a chance to win it, and just didn't capitalize on a few plays, and they were able to get the conference title in the spring. So this is really what our kids have had circled since the spring, just to get to this point.
Alan, I was fortunate. We got some stats from you, I would imagine, edgy some to me. And when I was looking over the stats and the numbers, I look at the passing yards per game, the rushing yards per game, the average points per game of 40. It's the offense to me is without even seeing. I've seen it on a little bit on the max preps and stuff, but very very explosive offensive team. And the 2 guys that again stand out to me are Zach and Ashton, and those 2 guys kind of make everything. It takes 11 guys. I know that, and to praise the offensive line stuff, but those 2 guys are special players.
Way to go, Joe. You got 9 parents on the offensive side mad at you.
I'll talk about the defense.
No, it's you're right though. I mean, you named 2 pretty special kids. I mean, I've been singing Zach Romack's praises since I've had the ability to coach him. I mean, this kid, he's really truly is one of the best quarterbacks I've ever coached. I think he's an all-state quarterback. I mean, he's just shy of 2,000 all-purpose yards right now, and I think he's got 20 plus touchdowns. And I mean, he's just a great athlete, leads the team. And, when people think of Morris football, they probably do think of defense. They think of the physicality of it. But,
right.
This offense, it's special. And this team, I don't know if a lot of people have really got to watch us. And I will take a moment to kind of brag us up. But I think this team's got the makings of something special. And we'll obviously find out tomorrow, in a big test. But, I mean, this offense, we're really scoring a lot of points, and we're doing it, like you said, it's explosive. I mean, we've had some of these games where we're scoring, 40, 50, and we even hit 63 in one game, and we're doing it in less than 40 plays game. I mean, we're very efficient with what we're doing. Zach does a great job of leading the offense, and Ashton is such a powerful runner, and he's got such a great balance that, a lot of times you see a guy that has speed or a guy that has power. He has both. I mean, he's going to outrun you, but if you get a chance to tackle him, he's going to make you pay for it. And that's what I love about the kid. And he's just really come on as a really good back for us. But, you talk about just matchup problems. You start naming them. I could go through every receiver we have, Miles Johnston and Aiden Romack and Cam Hatcher. I mean, these guys, they have speed on the outside. So really, when you want to load the box, we can throw, and we're just as comfortable running or passing. And I think that's what's really helped us this year, just to keep moving the ball and keep putting points on the board.
And the one stat that jumps out to me with Zach is 1 interception only. I mean, we have a couple that haven't thrown. Maybe we have one other quarterback in our area hasn't thrown one yet.
That's why you're 8-0.
But
right there.
But that tells me he takes care of the football when he does want to throw it.
Yeah, he's a very smart quarterback, and he understands football. He just understands what we're trying to do offensively. He understands situations. And honestly, I'll put the interception on me. I mean, it was more of a late in the quarter. I believe it was right before halftime interception type thing. So, I mean, he's really, that's probably the biggest improvement he made from the spring. He had a few picks in the spring, but nothing that it was terrible. But he really made an effort of just trying to be smarter with the ball, very accurate quarterback. So, yeah, I mean, he's a special quarterback. And Ed, you said it. I mean, that's another reason when you're 8-0, when you can win the turnover battle. Our game against LP, we did have one fumble, and that's what actually led to their only touchdown. It was a scoop and score. But besides that, we created 4 turnovers that game, and that's kind of been the story for us all season. Our DBs are playing great. We had 2 picks, and we forced 2 fumbles that game, and recovered both of them. And when you can win a turnover battle, you're going to win a lot of football games.
I had a chance to see Sycamore in their loss to Richmond Burton, and I got to imagine that film has gotten quite a bit of viewing, I would imagine.
Yeah, and our conference has an agreement, and it's probably good and bad that we trade every film. So when you hit week 9 and you have 8 films, I've spent a lot of time this week probably watching everything. But we really, honestly, watched a lot of Richmond Burton. Like I said, we watched everything, but Richmond Burton, and we really watched a lot of us and them last year. But that was a good game. 2 really good teams, and Richmond Burton's impressive, and Sycamore's impressive as well. So they've this is not going to be an easy game. We know this is our toughest test, and they've got some good players coming back. The quarterback's a very good athlete, good running back they have as well. So, it's always a tough matchup. And again, but that's kind of the fun of high school football.
Yeah, and I got to imagine you would be very welcome to the kind of start that Richmond Burton had in that game as well, where they just everything in that first quarter just went Richmond Burton's way. They got a couple of turnovers converted into points, and nothing better than getting out to a 21-0 lead after the first quarter.
Yeah, and again, we've kind of done that in a lot of these games this year. Our offense has been very fast starting. We played Marengo, kind of the same thing. We were up, I think, 21-0 in about 4 minutes, created a turnover and scored. And honestly, the LP game was probably the slowest. It's actually the only time we were down this season, and it was just because, again, we were in the red zone and unfortunately fumbled, but our kids responded, really well. So we've been a really fast starting offense this year. And again, then when you can get that lead and just your defense can just pin their ears back and go just wreak havoc. That's what they've been doing all year. Really, I count the LP game as a shutout for them because they didn't give up any points. And we've had 3 shutouts and really held opponents down to their scoring down a lot. So, I think it's going to be, again, it's going to be a good test for both teams. 2 good defenses, 2 good offenses, and we'll see how it goes.
I'll let everybody on the defensive side of the ball, all the parents like me this time. Again, looking at things, your defense, 17 sacks, that is a ton in 8 games, in my opinion, and only an average, 11 point, only 4 rushing touchdowns. That just tells me as a unit, they're really in sync with one another.
Yeah, and it's so kind of just weird the way the schedule's worked out. We're either playing a double wing team, or we're playing a spread team. And we play the Canelan and those guys. We had a lot of sacks that game. And, but we've seen teams, LPs that try to run on those sort of teams. And, again, just going back to last week, I think we held them to 2 first downs in the first half. And, that's a playoff team also. So we're doing this against good teams as well. It's not like we're just playing down opponents. And, our defense probably was, I knew our offense would be good. I didn't know how our defense would come along. Not that I didn't have faith in those kids, but just some inexperience and some kids in new spots. And the D-line, Jonah Williams is one of our DNs. He's having a great year. Jorge Loza is our senior captain on defense, and he had 15 tackles last game. He's just really taken that leadership role and kind of the quarterback of the defense, makes all the calls. And again, the secondary, there's a lot of those same receivers. We got some guys that do go both ways, but there's just a lot of athleticism back there. So it makes it, again, we feel like we can stop the run well, but if teams pass on us, we think we can run with the receivers as well.
Saturday evening, usual plan for you. What's kind of the plans?
Yeah, we'll probably come in the morning and watch film, and then it's kind of that weird day when normally we all have those routines and we get to work pretty quick, but not knowing who you're going to play, we'll just kind of relax and we'll get together around 7, where there's a place in town we usually have our spaghetti dinners at. And kids will just kind of eat some pizza and hang out, and we'll watch the show, and then from there as a staff we'll head back to the school and get to work. So it's exciting time. It's a fun couple of days here, and it's everything you kind of work for, all off season, and to get to this conference title and even just that, the playoff feeling, it's just good to have that normal feeling back. And we were kind of talking about that today on the field. It's just cold day.
Definitely
felt like fall. It feels like playoff football. So yeah, it's definitely an exciting time.
Alan, thanks a lot, man. Good luck.
Yeah, good luck,
talk
Alan.
to you
Good
soon.
luck. Thanks guys. Appreciate it.
All right. Alan Thorson joining us from Morris. And again, big ball game. And again, another area team 8-0 that's just rolling. He's pretty confident in that team, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. And again, you see the scores, who they played. And I agree with what you said and what Alan said as far as last week and this week. those teams are the two other best teams in the conference, and you want to play them at the end of the year to get you ready for the playoffs.
We got a minute or two here. 815-254-7300 if you want to join us real quick. Area schedule, Joe, we'll go through it. Joliet Catholic at Montini. Again, I just think it's a question of who plays for JCA and where's Montini at right now.
Yeah, I saw Montini, their tape against Nazareth, who Nazareth beat
there's
them.
some ability there.
They've got some talent.
Yeah.
Very, as I talked to you, once a day, but early in the week, very young team.
You need more friends, obviously.
Not during football
I need
season.
more
You're my
friends,
guy.
one or the other.
You're my guy. But,
yeah, that's true. I won't hear from you for 9 months. So
until baseball season starts.
Yeah.
Spring training.
Joe Providence at 3-5. They're at Lawrence, and again, both of them trying to fight alive here and wind up at 4-5.
Yeah. Again, Providence, a lot of injuries to key players. I'm just hoping Cogs can come through.
We talked to Gavin Johnson, Reed Custer, 7-1 at Herscher.
Yep, I'm going to go Reed Custer.
Go Comets. The Tone, Piatone, our guy Tully at 5-3 will be in the playoffs. They are at Lyle.
Yes, Lyle is 5-3 also, so this is going to be a good matchup. But I'm going to go with the Tone here.
Streeter at Cole City.
Cole City.
Wilmington at Mantino.
Wilmington. Mantino's having a rough year this year.
Yeah. We just kind of previewed Sycamore at Morris. I think that'll wind up being a really good game.
Yep.
I like Morris at
So do
home.
I.
Very tough at home.
Yep.
Lamont 8-0, looking for 9-0. I think they will get it at Oak Forest.
Yes, the Indian prevails.
All right, we're going to wrap it up for the first hour. Don't go anywhere. We will be back in hour number 2. All kinds of guests for you. Luke Lokank, Michael O'Brien from the Sun-Times, and Matt Lang. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports.
The high school football season ends this Friday night. The regular season, that is. Now the fun begins. 1340 WJOL presents the High School Football Playoff Show. This Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Where will your favorite team play in Week 1? What is their road like to a state championship? We'll hear from the coaches, fans, and experts, and see what the second season will look like. The Playoff Pairing Show, live on WJOL Saturday night at 7:30 p.m. Presented by Tire Tracks USA.
Will County's News Talk Sports, 1340. It's a tradition. It's a passion. It's a way of life. High school football in Will County runs through the blood of sports fans everywhere.
Friday night, Tire Tracks USA brings you high school football. Joliet Catholic looks to complete a perfect regular season. They play at Montini. You'll hear it live from Lombard starting at 7 o'clock. And then Saturday night at 7:30, the high school football playoff pairing show. Find out where your favorite team is going and who they'll play in round 1.
From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet. From the Abri Credit Union Studio, this is Will County's News Talk Sports, WJOL, Joliet.
Person of interest in the disappearance of Gabby Petito has ended, and it comes a day after remains were found in a Florida nature preserve.
The identification made through dental records one day after the remains were found. The remains, the FBI says, were those of Brian Laundrie. A family attorney says Laundrie's parents were immediately notified that their son is dead. The remains were found after his parents chose to go search for him in a park adjacent to the wildlife reserve that police searched for many weeks. Laundrie's own father found Brian's bag, according to the family attorney, and the remains were found in that general area. Alex Stone, ABC News.
Petito's body was found last month in Wyoming. A woman is dead. Another person is hospitalized after an accidental shooting at a movie set in Santa Fe, New Mexico. An independent CDC panel has voted unanimously to recommend booster doses of COVID-19 vaccines made by Moderna and by Johnson & Johnson. ABC News contributor Dr. John Brownstein says a growing amount of data shows few people may actually need them.
We have to remember that the existing vaccines in the market are doing what they need to do in terms of protecting against hospitalizations and deaths. And we ultimately don't want to undermine, the campaign to get those first shots in arms.
CDC Director Dr. Rochelle Walensky will have the final say. 9 House Republicans joined all the Democrats in voting to hold Steve Bannon in contempt of Congress. The former Trump advisor ignored a subpoena from the January 6th committee. Chair Benny Thompson.
Our investigation is going forward. We're hearing from witnesses, reviewing documents, analyzing data. Mr. Bannon stands alone in his defiance, and we will not stand for it.
Federal prosecutors will decide whether to press charges. The Federal Reserve is implementing new restrictions on what investments officials can own. You're listening to ABC News.
What's all the buzz about nasal irrigation and Navage? And should I try it? Here's the science. Airborne germs invade through your nose. It's the body's air filter for trapping allergens and viruses. When your nose gets clogged, it's less effective and germs multiply. Eventually, your immune system can get overwhelmed and you get sick. Nasal irrigation is an effective, all-natural way to clean your nose. It's not a drug. It's more like plumbing. Saline goes in one nostril, around the back of the nose, and out the other nostril, flushing out mucus and germs. I'm Martin Hoke, and I invented Navage to make cleaning your nose easy. It's the world's only nose cleaner with powered suction. Navage pulls out the bad stuff so you can breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier. At Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Target, Bed Bath, and Walmart. Or go to Navage.com for a free gift with purchase. Over 2 million sold. Navage, N-A-V-A-G-E. Clean nose, healthy life.
The legal groundwork is being laid for the upcoming trial of Jeffrey Epstein's alleged accomplice.
As many as 600 prospective jurors could be called when jury selection begins next month in the trial of Ghislaine Maxwell, who has pleaded not guilty to charges she facilitated Jeffrey Epstein's abuse of minor girls. The judge said she would question prospective jurors one-on-one about their ability to be fair. The judge said she would also need to ask personal questions, since this case involves sexual abuse and sex trafficking. The defense raised concerns about the chilling effect of doing this in front of reporters, but the judge said she is starting with the presumption of public access. Aaron Katursky, ABC News, New York.
Britain's prime minister continues to resist calls from health leaders for tighter COVID restrictions despite rising cases. And he says that the boosters will play a critical role this winter, but if restrictions aren't reinstated, some believe that the National Health Service could be overwhelmed. The world's biggest Triceratops skeleton has sold for $7.7 million at a Paris auction house. The winning bidder is anonymous, but this much we know, he or she is American. The Triceratops skeleton is 60% complete, and it was unearthed in South Dakota in 2014. Big day for the big board after hovering around a high that was set last month. The S&P 500 closed at a record high today. The Dow a little bit lower than that. Nasdaq was up 2. This is ABC News.
Whether you're vaccinated or not, it's important to know the symptoms of COVID and its variants. Fever is the leading sign of COVID and the flu, so make sure you use an accurate thermometer. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Non-contact thermometers have no clinical evidence behind them, and you cannot rely on them. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Daria Albinger, ABC News.
How time flies when you're having fun, or at least trying to have fun. In 2020, we lost a season, and while we will never be able to get that back, the Molloy State Farm team is happy to be back on board with EDGYTIM and Coach Radagaro as the title sponsor of the Pigskin Preview. So here's to the players, the coaches, and the parents who have been waiting for this moment. Give it your best effort. Make it memorable. And on Monday, give the Molloy State Farm team a call at 815-463-5800 to get our best effort at saving you money.
The day is finally here, and you're invited to the wedding of the year. Breast Intentions of Illinois proudly presents Tony and Tina's wedding on Friday, November 5th at the Jacob Henry Ballroom in Joliet. Tony and Tina's wedding is the theater experience where everyone is family. Join Breast Intentions for this one-of-a-kind night, an immersive comedy show staged as an evening of nuptials for two Italian-American families. There's real food, real dance, and real mingling with the cast of lovable characters. Breast Intentions of Illinois provides crisis intervention for those facing financial hardship while battling breast cancer due to the cost of treatment or time off work. 100% of all donations made to Breast Intentions of Illinois always go back to people and families dealing with a breast cancer diagnosis. Support Breast Intentions of Illinois at Tony and Tina's wedding on Friday, November 5th at the Old Central Church at the Jacob Henry Ballroom in Joliet. Get your tickets now at breastintentionsil.org. breastintentionsil.org.
So you're getting some roof or exterior work done, and you've covered all your bases, right? Even checked out some online reviews. You think you've got everything covered? Well, think again. Not all roofing and siding companies are insured. That's why I can't say enough great things about R.E. Duchesne Construction. They are a licensed and fully bonded exterior contractor serving Will, Grundy, and Kendall counties for over 40 years. I trust them, and I've personally used them.
Hi, I'm Rita Duchesne Hughes. If you look at your home and don't like what you see, or what you have no longer protects your family and largest asset, call us at R.E. Duchesne Construction. R.E. Duchesne has an A+ Better Business Bureau rating, so you can be confident you need only make one call. Looking to upgrade? R.E. Duchesne offers a full line of roof shingles, gutters, siding, soffit fascia, and windows. Call us at 815-722-2821 for all your home improvement needs. Financing is now available. Check us out on the web at reducheneinc.com.
And be sure to tell them Scott Slocum sent you.
Hi, break time?
I know you.
I'm Cologuard, a prescription colon cancer screening option for people 45 plus at average risk. It seems like you take care of yourself.
I do. I play tennis. I try to eat well.
What about screening for colon cancer?
Not yet.
Don't wait. Colon cancer is more treatable when it's caught in early stages.
Tell me more.
Cologuard is non-invasive and is used at home. It detects altered DNA in your stool to find 92% of colon cancers.
92%?
Yep, even those in early stages.
This was seen in a clinical study with patients 50 and older. Any positive result should be followed by a diagnostic colonoscopy. False positive and negative results may occur. Cologuard is not a replacement for colonoscopy in high-risk patients. Do not use if you have had adenomas, have inflammatory bowel disease and certain hereditary syndromes, or a personal or family history of colon cancer.
Most insured patients pay $0. Ask your provider or an online prescriber if Cologuard is right for you, or visit requestcologuard.com.
I'm on it.
Excellent.
Pigskin Preview with EDGYTIM on 1340 WJOL.
And welcome back. It is hour number 2 of your gosh darn favorite high school football talk show every Thursday night. No, we are not a Johnny come lately. We are here week in and week out, year in and year out.
That's right.
Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News Talk Sports. I'm EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodiguero, and Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen. Joe.
Yes, sir.
This edition and every edition of Pigskin Preview brought to you by State Farm agents John Wright in Joliet and Kevin Malloy in New Lenox, like a good neighbor, Joe.
State Farm is there.
And the WJO Game of the Week, Friday Night Lights, kicks things off tomorrow night at 6:05 with Evan. He'll be on for 16 minutes. Then it's out to the pregame show with Dave Dwyer warming up that first lap. Yeah, that doesn't work either, do we? Starting that 45-minute pregame show in JCA at Montini Catholic. That is set for a 7:30 kickoff. So by all means, tune in the game of the week. Then, of course, Saturday, the annual WJOL Playoff Pairing Show. Coach Joe, Dewey, and Evan bringing you all the pairings and more importantly, or as importantly, the area's reaction to the draw and the brackets. Always great to hear from the coaches every year. So by all means, give them a listen. I will not be here. I've been banished from the studios. I have to go down and do something for IHSA. It's the price you pay, Joe.
You and the other handsome guy, Steve Soucy, right?
Yeah, me and Seuss. I guess we're tied at the hip, I guess. We'll have a good time. We'll make the best of our miserable situation, Joe.
Yeah, I'm sure
Not
you will.
really. It's actually pretty nice. So, but those are the plans for, and that is the broadcast schedule for this weekend. You know what? Huge game in the area, gentlemen.
Yes.
This game, unfortunately, over in HF. So by all means, Lincoln Way West fans, they need you. Get in the car, load up the car, get out to home at Flossmoor, and by all means, go support your Lincoln Way West Warriors, Joe. They take on home at Flossmoor. And Joe, I don't know if you know this or not. This is a playoff game.
Yes, it is.
It might not officially say that, but gosh darn it, Luke Lokank, in my mind, this is a playoff game. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Well, it's pretty obvious. You don't really need to fire up the kids too much for this one. I guess the question going into this, Luke, is how has practice gone this week? And I guess health-wise, where are you at going into this game?
Practice has been, what you would expect for a week like this, coming off of a great win last week against good Andrew team, conference championship, going into to play HF, kind of like you were saying, playoff game, but if you look at our last 3-4 weeks, we've been taking that approach, and kids have really responded. We have grown as a group tremendously the last month, and we're all excited of the progress.
Luke, like you said, first of all, congratulations on the conference championship. Again, one of the last 4 out of 5 games, which the only really bump in the road was against Lockport, which the game that we did. And going back to that game, I know we talked to you a few weeks ago about Cole Crafton, and I know early in that game he threw a couple picks, but I saw a great progression for him as the game progressed. And I just thought he handled himself very well in a big situation, and I'm sure he had a very good game last week also.
Yeah, like we talked last time, progression is every week with him, and whether in that Lockport game, we did turn the ball over a little bit early, but we're in that game all the way to the end to win it, and that was about the time our team was starting to come together. I would have said, probably the second half of Bolingbrook week 3 is started to click a little bit more. Then each week has been something new that we see out of these kids and kind of growing to our full potential here at the end of the year. And that's kind of where you want to be.
Yeah, there's no doubt. Luke, I had a chance to see HF earlier in the year, and I've known Terrell Alexander for a long time, really good coach and, really well respected in the area. I see a lot of similarities. At least from a skill standpoint, this HF team still has some really explosive players on both sides of the ball. I guess, I don't know, maybe it's me, but I guess the biggest difference I see, at least from my standpoint, was numbers. It just, that was a roster that you play them a year or two ago. You played them at home, you'd see 85, 90 kids dressed. You just don't see that this year. Is there anything else that kind of stands out to you about them this year?
Yeah, I don't really know the roster size to tell you offhand, but everything I've seen on film from what they showed all this year, I should say, is they have the explosive players, tough physical kids on the line. It is the 4-4 HF team, but it's a talented HF team for sure.
We talk all the time about conference and crossovers and really getting you prepared for a postseason. How has the conference been this year, in your opinion? And as far as, different styles of play, is it one of those that you feel pretty comfortable going into the playoffs and saying, hey, we've played an option team, we've played a spread team, we've seen a lot of different looks. Kind of what's your thoughts?
Yeah, we've seen everything from pro style spread to, I love playing Andrew just because it switches up practice. When you have to prep against a triple option team, that changes your entire practice mode completely. It's a nice change up throughout the year, but we've been seeing all kinds of offenses, and we've played some really, really good teams, and we feel we are as ready as we could be for tomorrow, and hopefully we get that chance to do what we know we can do in this postseason.
Look, again, I'm going back to Lockport because, again, seeing you guys for the first time live, I was very impressed with the Harris brothers and how tough kids they are.
Yeah, those two kids are pretty special. And that was the first game that we played Jason at corner, and he's been going both ways for us since then. And Justin is just having an unbelievable year too. He had 5 touchdowns last week, 3 the week before, 4 the week before. You know, he's close to 18 touchdowns this year rushing, and he's having an incredible year, along with the offensive line. But those two kids are as good as kids as you could want in the locker room and on the field.
Luke, again, I know it's a busy week, and I appreciate you taking some time to join us. Is that a 6 o'clock kick tomorrow?
No, we're at 7 tomorrow.
Are you?
It's the only
Okay.
game, yeah, we're at 7. I think they have some pregame festivities, senior night, things like that. So we're at 7.
All right. By all means, get out there, support Lincoln Way West. And again, just a tremendous game tomorrow night, Lincoln Way West at Homewood Flossmoor. Luke, best of luck, man. Hope to be talking to you next weekend, ready for playoffs.
Yeah, I appreciate it, guys, for sure.
All right. Luke Lolking joining us from Lincoln Way West. Joe, we appreciate him taking time. Hey, got someone out listening to the online stream. Craze boy with a camera. It's interesting. How about the Wilmington Wildcats, Joe? Hey, here's a thought. Here's something we need to talk about a little bit. How Wilmington and Jeff has been able to get this done without a starting quarterback for X amount of weeks. That's pretty impressive.
Since I think the second quarter, because we did that game against Coal City.
Yep.
Second quarter, you are exactly right. You know, I did, to all you Wilmington Wildcat fans, Jeff is a very good friend of mine. We texted back and forth midweek after the Coal City game, and I kept this.
See, you have more than one friend. See, I knew that.
I still have to go to breakfast with that guy. We could talk.
Well,
forever.
that might be an off-season project.
And again, I kept that close to the vest about the quarterback, and it's unfortunate that young man, his season was lost. I know he's a baseball player. Hopefully, he'll get back and get on the baseball diamond for Wilmington. But again, it's just when I see Wilmington, it's the system. I mean, and
coaching.
And that's what I mean. It's everything. Yep. And you know, Barry does a great job. Jeff does a great job. It's what they're going to run, and you got to stop them.
All right, here we go. Off season. Breakfast with a coach. So let's get Malloy to fork up a little money.
Okay.
He has one of a million restaurants out in that area that I'm sure will sponsor us.
Yes.
And then once a week we'll go to breakfast on a Saturday. And
That's right.
Us with a coach.
Yeah.
I'll get content out of it. We'll get to talk to a coach once a week.
Yeah. Hey,
there you go.
I got nothing to do.
You're retired.
I'm retired.
Yeah. So there you go.
That's
Evan,
right.
we just came up with a new off-season feature. So every Saturday, breakfast with a coach.
So I can talk baseball with Jeff though too.
We can talk whatever you want. I don't care.
Talk baseball. But to the question of crazy guy in a camera, Wilmington's very good.
Crazy boy with a camera.
Crazy
Get
boy.
it straight,
Well,
sir.
Show
respect.
I'm sorry, crazy boy. But very good team. I mean, offensively, defensively, they were very impressive. I know they had a couple breakdowns in the Coal City game and the kicking game, but
you know why I love Wilmington in the playoffs? Saturday night games. You know why I love Lamont in the playoffs?
Saturday night games.
Saturday night games.
I'm hoping to do a game. Do a game on a Saturday night.
Already told John Young, Saturday night, I'm in.
Yes.
Unless I'm across the state and can't make it. And I think both of you know, I will make a full effort to make it from across the state for a night game in the playoffs.
I know you will.
I once got a semi-police escort into Wilmington in time for a Saturday night game. That was pretty sweet.
Did you get stopped for speeding first?
No, I actually got like a police escort from town into the parking lot to get to the field.
All right.
It's pretty sweet. And I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't as good as I missed the Bron Barracks.
Oh, yes.
Because they would hook me up every time I would go to Lamont. There would be a Nick's burger waiting for me. I'm telling you.
Mrs. Bromberg used to make me that.
Yes, I
Russian
know.
tea.
She makes everyone the
Oh,
Russian
my.
tea.
That stuff.
I stayed warm that night.
You do stay
I
warm.
was
with
very
that.
warm and toasty that night.
Yes.
Gotta love the Braun Barracks.
Yes.
There's no doubt. Great Lamont family. There's a lot of them.
There's a lot of them. Yes.
And they were one for sure. That again, I know Nick is living in. Oh God, where is he? Maybe Arizona now. He was in like Utah, I think, and now they're in Arizona.
You talk about a versatile
his wife
athlete.
Denise, I've known forever as well. So they're doing well, and I believe they retired somewhere as well. So again, just great memories there. All right, we're gonna step aside and take a continues. Joliet's favorite son, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Bryan from the Chicago Sun-Times. No, it's not Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen. No, Thayer boys, step aside. It's Michael Bryan from the Chicago Sun-Times. Coming up next on the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
I was with my wife at the grocery store when the cashier handed me the receipt and said, "Have a nice day." I replied, "Thank you." When we got to the car, Julie commented about how I could have been a bit nicer. So I thought for a moment and realized she was right. We all have the choice in our interactions with others. We can react to people, we can respond to people, we can go the extra step and simply respect people. I'm Barry Kolonowski of Senior Services of Will County, reminding you to take a moment and be kind. For over 50 years, we've been connecting resources, information, services, and programs to those over the age of 60 and for those that care for them. To learn more about senior services and how we can help, please visit us at willcountyseniors.org or call us at 815-723-9713. By the way, did you notice I said, please? Julie would be proud.
There's a confusion about how to protect yourself from COVID. But one thing is for sure, whether or not you're vaccinated, you need an accurate thermometer. Contact your medical provider at the first sign of fever, the leading sign of COVID and the flu. Only the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate in more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and don't rely on non-contact thermometers. They have no scientific studies behind them and can miss the fever that might mean COVID. Learn more at Exergen.com.
The pandemic's reminded us we live in a sea of airborne germs that can assault us with every breath. Your nose is the body's first line of defense by helping filter out allergens, bacteria, and viruses before they reach your lungs. So how do you clean your nose? Navage uses powered suction to flush out mucus and germs that cause congestion or worse, can make you sick. Over 2 million people use Navage to breathe better, sleep deeper, snore less, and feel healthier without drugs. Go to Navage.com or find Navage at Walgreens, CVS, Rite Aid, Bed Bath, and Target.
Take the fear out of home improvement and tune in to 1340 WJOL every Monday at noon for the Prepare to Repair show with R.J. Graham Plumbing. Thorough discussions with licensed experts. Prepare to Repair will empower homeowners through education. Have questions? They have answers. With over 20 years of experience, Steve from R.J. Graham Plumbing and his guests will cover the must-knows for your upcoming projects. Tune in every Monday at noon for a home, entertainment, and community radio program. The Prepare to Repair show with R.J. Graham Plumbing.
1340 WJOL presents Tim Kerfin's House Talk, Thursday afternoons at 12:15, hosted by the owner of Kerfin Inspections, Tim Kerfin. There's so much you can do around the house, and each week, Tim will give you the ins and outs on how to make your home the best it can be and keep your energy bills down. If you're a business and would like to advertise or be featured on the show, call 708-935-3050. Tim Kerfin's House Talk, Thursday at 12:15 on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports.
Here's the Amita health tip of the day. Avoid sports injuries by always warming up and cooling down. Learn more about performance and find comprehensive care at the Amita Health Orthopedics Institute. Call 844-366-0615.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
The best football in the state plays right here on 1340 WJOL and WJOL.com.
And welcome back. It is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports EDGYTIM, along with the coach, Joe Rodriguero, and Evan, the Sheriff Bredesen, spinning the dials. And Joe?
Yes, sir.
It's not every day we get a chance to talk to one of Joliet's favorite sons. I'm not sure you're aware or not.
I am now.
I have publicly declared that Michael Bryan from the Chicago Sun-Times is one of Joliet's favorite sons. So, Thayer brothers, step aside. I'm sorry, Rick. Sorry, Tom. All the others, it's all about Michael Bryan now. OB, welcome.
Wow, it's some heady praise. Thanks, Edgy. I don't know about that, but it's always fantastic to be on WJOL with you guys.
It is, and it's
a treat.
It's a treat for all of us, Mike. Really, and it's the highlight of my week that I don't see you enough during the season, but I get to talk to you over the phone. So it really warms my cackles to know that you're available via phone when I need a Michael Bryan sighting.
I am sitting in the parking lot of Newt Rockne Stadium on the west side.
You know how to talk to us, Mike. You know how to talk. Now, the only bummer about that, are you tweeting out more basketball previews?
No, I had to stop because I had a football.
Right. So you hit 250 and then you stopped, or what?
We're only at like 87, but we've got a couple hundred to go. We got a month. Don't worry, you're going to see plenty.
Oh yeah, great. There are a few moments when you realize that the seasons are changing. One, Joe, is when the rain and the cold starts to come through, and the other, one of the most depressing parts, is when Michael Bryan starts typing or tweeting out his team previews for basketball, which start in what, Mike, mid-September and usually end about November.
No, it started last week. I got 400 teams, so I got to start tweeting those at least a month before the season. Otherwise, you go crazy.
Mike, you have reluctantly accepted football into your life, and I think you've done a wonderful job. So we want to. Well, I got to be nice to you. You are one of Joliet's favorite sons. A lot of great storylines out there this year. I mean, and I get the feeling, and I think you might agree, I'm just happy we got a season in, and it feels like football, and it feels like it's going to be playoff time.
Oh, it's been fantastic. And, just today, I was covering a Crane against Pritzker, two Chicago public league schools that aren't even in the state, eligible for the state playoffs. Talked to a Crane kid a few minutes ago. They didn't have a season last year. He got to play this season, and he's got FCS offers rolling in. Yeah. I mean, that's amazing to not even have a season and then play for Crane, and now you're going to Morgan State or North Carolina Central. Yep. So it's amazing with just getting these 9 games in.
Hey, I want to stop you with the public league. I want to get your thoughts, and you spend more time around the public league than just about anyone I know. And I've tried to get this out there and express it, but obviously I think people listen more to you when it comes to the public league. Talk about the impact it all had, the COVID shutdown, and what people don't realize, certainly out here in the burbs, is it was a shutdown for the public league. I mean, there was no contact days. There are kids that didn't see a weight room for well over a year. Talk about the impact or maybe lack of impact that we've seen in football in the public league this year.
I mean, it's they're starting over. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yep. I mean, the Phillips and the Simeons and the Morgan Parks and Kenwoods had to take a step back. They're not starting over, but wow, are they inexperienced and young and still learning? But everybody else, so many coaches left. So many kids never played organized football. I mean, I was at a game a couple of weeks ago where the officials realized early on that they couldn't be calling many penalties. They were just going to help the 2 coaches, one on each side, set the kids up properly. Yeah. That's where a lot of schools are at right now. It was devastating. And I think it's going to take a concerted effort from a lot of people, I think, to build things back up properly. And you wonder really how it's going to happen some places. It's a little scary.
Yep. Mike, as you were talking about, the feel-good stories and that, and last spring on WJOL, we did a game that a team came into Joliet and played Joliet Catholic, and that team had them on the ropes. I think one of the best stories around is St. Ignatius.
Oh, wow. Yeah, it is. And you know what? They've got Curie. If you guys, I'm sure you noticed, they made the playoffs, good for a while there. I think almost beat Warren in overtime a couple years ago in 8A. Those guys an impressive group of guys, 3 or 4 coaches, old school, no headsets, no stuff. They run the ball, they run it well, and that's what they do. They went over to St. Ignatius and are part of that group.
Yep.
And, now they're running the ball over there with the trip option, and they've got it going. I've not seen them. I really kind of wanted to go there tomorrow.
I know, me too. I was really close because let's face it, can you be in a better spot on a Friday night to go watch football and get a great dinner than?
Well, it's right down the street from my house.
Yeah,
Al's Beef is right there.
You got Al's. You've got all those Italian restaurants.
All those
right
Italian places I love.
Yeah. And I mean, you want to see if I feel like this season, most times, you go through the season and we know right now who the good teams are, and you want to see them play one another to see what happens. And there's some teams that could knock them off. I feel like this year, I know Loyola is the favorite in 8A. I know Joliet Catholic is an overwhelming favorite, in 4A. Other than that, I'm not sure.
Crapshoot. Yep.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yep. And here's one, and I mean, we can go up and down at both our rankings, but the team, Mike, that you and I saw very early in the year, and if things work out the way they work out, the team I wouldn't overlook Warren, because I think offensively, if they can get anything going, as we saw in 19, that this defense, Mike, and you saw them up close, they're as good as they were in 19.
Yep, they are. And they've got, the running, they've got everything they need to do it if they can pass the ball effectively. But my question, Edgy, is what about Maine South?
Yeah.
I feel like Warren is higher in everybody's rankings now, except for mine. Maine South went there and beat them in Gurnee, and they only allowed them 2 points. Yeah. What about that defense with the better offense?
It's one of those.
I think they're interesting.
It's one of those years where I think, and this is far-fetched, but you have, like, Joe, you have a true czar of football, and everyone is granted a dispensation for one game. So everyone gets a dispensation for one game. So Mount Carmel, you lost to St. Ignatius. There's your dispensation. That is forgotten and wiped off the record. St. Ignatius won't be happy with that, but it'll stay on their record.
Yes.
But, Mike, you could go through every team, and I can give you examples of, boy, there's just that one weird loss that made no sense at the time. And I think almost every team has that on the record in a top 25 or a top 30.
And I think that's why it's my ranking philosophy overall in all sports. I will often throw out some losses. You have to look at the greatest win. Like, what can they be at their biggest potential? And that's why I think, Ignatius is interesting because you can see what they can do at their biggest potential. They can beat Mount Carmel, and Maine South can go to Gurnee and win. I can throw out their loss to, who was it? Prospect or something? I don't know. It was an MSL team or something. But yeah, if you look at the highlights and look at what Joliet Catholic's potential is, going on the road to Brother Rice and winning.
Yeah.
I mean, even if they dropped a game or two this year, that would have shown what they can do. But I think there's a lot of teams that don't have that big mind-blowing win. When I go through the rankings, everybody kind of did okay.
Yeah, there's no doubt. I think another thing that is going to be really interesting when we get into the playoffs and start to get a better feel is I've been watching kind of closely the whole injury impact. I mean, if you really think about it, Mike, these kids have ended up playing, if they played a 5-6 spring season, now you throw in 9, that's 14, 15, 16 games in some cases. A lot of these kids have played. That's my one concern. And Joe, I don't know your thoughts on that, but that's a lot of football in a short amount of time because you got to remember, there wasn't a whole lot of break in between.
Well, that's an interesting point because does that give Mount Carmel maybe a bit of an interesting edge? Because these aren't the same kids.
Yeah.
With a lot of the top teams, it is. But you look at Mount Carmel and these guys didn't play much.
Yeah.
Maybe they did it on the sophomore level or whatever, but look at Loyola, they did have some turnover, and the injury thing, what if Loyola had Marco Maldonado?
Right.
Where would we be looking at right now? But yeah, there's no doubt. And we're probably going to see that a lot more over the next few weeks when they hit into, game 10 and 11 and 12, just this year after playing in February. Yeah, that's going to be it's going to be rough, I think. I've been seeing guys carted off pretty regularly the last few weeks.
Yeah.
So you hope it doesn't continue. Yeah, that's a really interesting point.
And Mike, we've tossed this around with some coaches over the last couple of weeks. And the big thing would be weight training because of the shutdown. Year and a half ago, nothing. You couldn't go into school. And even when they kind of ramped it up again last spring, you kind of jump it right into the games, maybe a week or two of practice, and then you've got the summer. And I know Edgy and I've discussed this at length, but teams just physically they don't look the same. They don't look the same as they did, let's say, 2 years ago.
Yeah, it sounds like there was a wide disparity over teams that were allowed into weight rooms, some that weren't. Some were locked out of the school entirely. Yep. It seems like that's something that's very different on a district-to-district basis, and maybe something that will definitely, show in the next few weeks.
I noticed it, Mike. It really stood out to me, Joliet Catholic and Brother Rice. When I saw Joliet Catholic on both sides of the line and thought, wow, Joliet Catholic knows where Rudy's is, and they did not miss any weight room time. Because Joliet Catholic just physically up front look a lot different from a lot of teams I've seen this year. That's not a knock on Brother Rice. Brother Rice has some really good linemen up front. But, man, you just see the difference from the line sizes and the strength, and you can notice it. I thought it was pretty noticeable.
Yeah, I bet you a lot of the Catholic schools were in the weight rooms when the public districts weren't allowed in, I would guess. Not an excuse for Brother Rice.
One of the most interesting things that we've talked about, and would love your input as well, Mike, who do you think's the player of the year? Yeah, because good luck figuring that one out because we're still struggling.
This is like I'm having problems sleeping. I really don't like having this so up in the air. It's just like because things start to roll here. It seems like we've got a while before the state championships. We don't. It's going to be here in an eye blink, and then that week's the start of basketball, and I got to know who this is and write this story. I've got time. I need to know, between 2 or 3 guys now who it is. And, man, I do not have – I keep saying, I don't even, want to publicly say one for sure who I think is my top contender right now because I want to keep it really open. There's some guys, they ended up put together nice seasons, but I think more than in the last, 7, 8, 10 years – the next few weeks,
it's going to mean a lot.
Somebody can really step up, and grab that award, those awards for sure.
Yeah, it's and again, you just go through your top teams. You look at Loyola. You mentioned Maldonado has been out for a long time, and Jake Stierney's had a really good season. But is it all? Is it Player of the Year worthy? I don't know. That's something to really consider. And up and down, you talk about Joliet Catholic. Jordan Anderson, huge game. I know Vinny Iannatone certainly is a candidate. For as far as his consistency week in and week out, but your high profile back that was supposed to, he's missed a lot of time with injury. And Mike, you can go up and down the line with just about every team and struggle to find that one guy that really has been a huge difference maker.
Yeah, I mean, going in, you would have thought Caleb Brown, St. Rita, Jordan Anderson, Joliet Catholic, Sebastian Cheeks, Evanston, maybe 3 of the most talented guys.
Yeah,
and they didn't have
Cheeks
seasons.
Yeah.
So that makes it tough. I don't, it's one of those things that there's some running backs putting up big numbers. There's some quarterbacks putting up big numbers that aren't winning big games.
Yeah. Yep.
So that hurts to me. To me, winning's really important. Maybe more so in football for this award, I think, than some others. So it's a tough one. They do kind of work themselves out. Like I'm pretty proud of our Peyton Thorne call a couple years ago.
Yep.
That we could have gone a couple ways. We've seen what he's doing at Michigan State now. I thought, the last couple of weeks he really proved it. So maybe we'll see somebody step up because that could have gone either way. That year.
Where are you going tomorrow?
I will be. You got to do it. The Sun Times readership, the battle at Super Bowl of Pulaski Avenue.
Yeah.
It'll be Brother Rice and Marist. I haven't seen Marist yet this year, so I'm gonna. It's already sold out. It's a huge game. I've just seen Brother Rice too much this year, so
I'm going out to Naperville. I'm gonna go watch Nequa in Naperville. North.
Oh, nice.
Well, I've been saving. When I saw they were gonna have a conference title game, I'm like, okay, I know where I'm going week 9. So,
Nequa is a team. They've crept up every ranking so high, and
they're the sneakiest 8-0 highly ranked team in the state of Illinois.
Yeah, they didn't knock my socks off. I'm not gonna lie. I saw them beat Naperville Central in overtime, and I was a big Nico guy the last few years. That Gronkowski guy could play quarterback.
No doubt.
I picked that team to go to the final. I'm not so sold on this one. I feel like that, like a lot of teams, it could go either way with them, but we'll see.
All right, my friend. Appreciate you taking time. Good to talk to you. And I know you'll be lonely. You won't see me on Friday, but I'm sure we'll run into each other soon enough. And again, anytime we can get Joliet's favorite son on the show, it's worth it. So
great to talk to you guys and great to be on the airwaves.
All right,
thank you, Mike. Take care.
Michael Bryan, the pride of Joliet, joining us on 1340 WJOL. Joe, before we go to commercial, we had a couple of comments online. Jeff Brook had some nice things to say about us. Thank you, Jeff. Also want to know a little bit about Crete and Kankakee. That is a huge game in the Southland tomorrow.
I tell you.
They don't like each other, Joe. I don't know if you're aware of that or not.
And I know Kankakee has had their number the last couple of years.
No. Crete has had Kankakee's number the last few years.
I've seen Crete against Joliet Catholic.
Really good.
They are really. I'm impressed with their speed. I don't know how many guys go both ways for Kankakee or not, but that could be a problem.
This is a really good Kankakee team, though.
It is
really good. Really good. This is going to be a great game. I picked Crete to win, but man, it can go either way. You know what? This would have probably been my second. This would have been my second choice game, but I waited forever on the DVC, so that's where I'm going to wind up.
Crete to me was very. Again, I haven't seen Kankakee, but Crete I was very impressed with them.
Jeff, again, thank you for the kind words, and our girl Beth out there, Vinny Iannatone, she's Vinny's biggest fan.
He's a great player.
Darn right he is, and glad to mention his name certainly in talk for Player of the Year.
Yes, he's had definitely that kind of year.
All right, need a commercial. We got to go because Matt Lang will be pacing nervously, waiting to join the show. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk Sports. Don't go away. We'll be back.
So as you guys know, Mark's gone.
The float artist at Fred's Floral just took off days before the parade. They need a replacement before business passes them by.
And who am I going to get to finish the float?
Indeed can help them hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. With Indeed Instant Match, we immediately show you quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed meet your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
The biggest Halloween event in Chicagoland is coming to the Dirt Oval at Route 66 Raceway in Joliet. This Saturday, October 23rd. It's the Eve of Haunted Destruction, featuring a trunk or treat and costume contest for all ages, with figure 8 school bus racing, lawnmower derby, Power Wheels derby, and extreme trailer racing during the night. This Saturday, October 23rd. Trunk or treat from 4 till 6. Event starts at 6. Tickets available online at DirtOval66.com and on site the night of the event. DirtOval66.com.
So the dream was to build your very own law practice. Be your own boss, call all the shots. But have things like billing, HR, timekeeping, and all the other management stuff turned your dream into a nightmare? Take charge of your practice with Lexicon. We're the intersection of practice management software and legal support services for your firm. You'll get more billable and livable hours back. Lexicon marks the spot for all your practice management needs. Visit lexiconservices.com/intersection to get the whole story or schedule a demo.
Big news from Simply Safe Home Security. Okay. Actually, I think the horns are too much. That's better. Big news. The new wireless outdoor security camera is here. Yes, Simply Safe's award-winning home security just got even better, taking whole home protection to a whole new level. Okay, I'm missing the horns. Simply Safe is celebrating this new camera by offering free shipping for a limited time. Visit simplysafe.com today.
Looking for the best sports and gambling information? Check out State Lines. Hosted weekly by Jason Gotch and Kevin Berger, State Lines takes a look at football betting, including the best angles on the NFL, sides and totals, futures, prop bets, and more. Jason and Kevin also go in-depth on the Chicago Bears, giving you the latest news and betting insight for the monsters of the Midway, as well as the rest of the league. And on each episode, the guys will give you their 3 best NFL bets for the coming week's slate of games. There will be betting talk for other sports too. What's hot in the sports world? We've got you covered. Jason and Kevin give you a fun and informed look at sports and gambling. Want the winners? Check out State Lines. Available wherever you get your podcasts. That's State Lines, Illinois' #1 pro football gambling program. Available now on your favorite podcast platform and on the web at statelines.show.
Hi, this is State Farm Agent John Wright. Every team knows the 2-point play can be a winning move. That's why I can help you go for 2 by combining your home and auto insurance. It's a great call that saves you time and money. So go for the win and score savings by combining your home and auto with me, State Farm Agent John Wright. It's just another way we're here to help life go right. Call me, John Wright, at 815-725-5052 today.
For all the scores, from football to basketball to baseball, it's WJOLSports.com.
Welcome back. It is the weeknight edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL. Will County's News Talk Sports. EDGYTIM along with the coach, Joe Rodegaro, yes, Evan Evan of the Bredesen joins us, otherwise known as the Sheriff. Guys, enough screwing around. Matt Lang joining us. He is the co-host of the ever-growing and popular Third and Lang podcast, heard on the EDGYTIM.com podcast network. Sure, let's go with that. Thank you. Let's go with that. And he is our small enrollment football expert. Matt, welcome aboard.
Hey, I'm in the big time now, man. I'm a guest on the show. I feel good. I've worked my way up.
You've had your double cheeseburger for dinner. Now let's get down to business.
Okay, all right, okay. Focus time.
Let's start in Class 1A. I want to know a couple of your favorites and a sleeper that we need to keep an eye on in 1A.
Well, I mean, I think obviously, until someone knocks off the giant up there in the north, I still think Lena is the perennial power and the favorite. I think down here in the south, I'm just going to tell you right now, I think Carrollton with Nick Flowers is a good football team, and then a team I think you should watch out for is, it's just this Abington team. They're A-Town. Rick Quinn. They came off a big win over Knoxville. They're 8-0. They should be 9-0 after tomorrow night. And, watch out for them. So, either way, I think it's going to have some good football in 1A. And there's probably a couple other teams in there, but I think for right now, those top 3 are just kind of the teams I'm kind of centering in on.
As far as 2A is considered, I'm basically going to ask you the same thing, but what is the thought of, there's a possibility of an Immaculate Conception dropping down to 2A, Bishop McNamara possibly being in 2A. I can't imagine there's a whole lot of love for that could possibly happen in 2A.
Oh, no. I think everybody will be upset by that and kind of frustrated by that, just knowing just the power that they bring and the intensity and the aggressiveness that they bring. But I think 2A, top to bottom, north to south, all 32 teams, I think it's going to be just a slobber knocker of a field when you get right down to it. And in a team that I think could make some noise in 2A, but definitely would make a noise in 1A, and I forgot to bring them up, is Athens. Again, that's another team down south here. They have done really well. They beat Maroa. They played really, really hard against Williamsville. So, you got to watch out for them. But there's some other teams, too. If you want me to shoot them out, I can shoot them out to you right now. I think 2A is going to be just loaded from top to bottom.
Joe?
Matt, we've got Wilmington up here. And, of course, if IC moves down to 2A, Wilmington, usually it's Wilmington and Byron whenever they meet up. And give us some thoughts about, Williamsville, Unity, Princeton. And I got another question for you is when we get the rankings and stuff in that, why is it that it's primarily the same teams? Is it just the coaches and system, or is it just they just get the good football players?
Well, I think it's coaches and system, but I also think it's like populations. It's pockets of populations. I think in certain parts of the state, I think, unfortunately, I hate to use this word because it sounds kind of deflating, but I think it's kind of erosion of populations. It's kind of personnel. It's just clientele. It is what it is. I know in my area, in this area, we got good football, but if you go a little bit closer over to the western side of the state, over there by Quincy and Camp Point Central and Carrollton and Athens, it's just
frankly, it's just a little bit better. You know, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I think football is really good in the central part of the state. Sometimes you get down a little bit more south, you don't really hear too much about those teams. It's still good football, but it is what it is in terms of like the clientele and the type of kids that you have. But I also think programs and coaches and players, I mean, success breeds success. You know, once these teams start doing what they're doing, it's just a continuation. You know, I mean, case in point in 2A, I mean, Bismarck Henning, you know, is on the western side of the eastern side of the state. It's kind of not a rough area, but it's a blue collar area. But you know what? They continue to run the ball and do good things. But then you go an hour and a half to the middle part of the state, and Tri-Valley Downs is there in a white collar area next to State Farm and Country Companies and Bloomington Normal. You know, that's a suburb basically of Bloomington Normal. And Josh Roop continues to just do the things he does. So, I mean, it is what it is. Those are two teams I think you should watch out for 2A in this neck of the woods. I think St. Teresa is going to be absolutely loaded over in Decatur. And that's a special situation, too, there at St. Teresa with Mark Ramsey. I think he's one of the greatest coaches in the state of Illinois.
Matt, and especially in the smaller class football, and like take 3A, for example, team like Benton down in Southern Illinois, tremendous quarterback in Keegan Glover. I mean, he's put up well over 2,000 yards already. Is it a weather thing why we don't see those teams advance really far? Why do we always see more of the power run option teams that make those deep runs?
Well,
not always the case, but it seems to be more often than not.
Yeah, and I tell you what, I don't know. You know, you and I had this conversation when it came to like Lena Winslow and like and the NUIC teams. You know, we got those type of questions like, what's it going to take to beat an NUIC team? And we always kind of come down to it's going to have to be a spread team that's very physical inside the trenches, because more times than not in 1A, 2A, and 3A, it is going to be a smash mouth, a wing tee, you know, Donnybrook type of football team that's going to beat you. And they always do. It's, you know, you win with blocking and tackling. That is the old cliche that is so true. And I think sometimes in the years past, we've seen these Greenvilles, we've seen these Columbias, we've seen these, you know, Belleville teams, these Breeze Modern Day teams, that they make that run, but they can't quite get to the big dance because they get knocked off in the second, third round by a good power running team.
Man, we've got a real good story up here in Braidwood, Reed Custer. They're 7-1. They had Wilmington beat them in a very close game
early in the year,
you know, in 3A. Who are some of the teams or a couple teams that have surprised you that are the good stories in these lower classes?
Oh boy, you know, I think a team that you could kind of watch out for in 1A, I think, is Fulton. You know, I was talking about this last night on the podcast. I think with Coach Lauer and his son, I think they're a team that kind of, you know, gets kind of ignored a little bit, you know. Also think in 2A, you know, gosh, this is going to sound kind of bad, you know, because we don't talk about them because they're so good every year. But like, until someone can go into Maroa and beat Josh Joseph and Maroa Forsyth, he's always going to be on the doorsteps. I mean, he just has that type of personality. He you know what Josh Joseph is? He is the Lane Kiffin of high school football. Because I'm telling you, he does it every year, and he just consistently reloads. If you know Josh and his personality, it's very laser. It's very laser. It's kind of prickly, you know. It's kind of it's kind of ornery, but he continues to do the things he does. You know.
I think what's amazing. When was the last time they lost 2 games in a regular season?
It's never.
No, that's what's weird looking at that schedule.
Never. I think in 3A, I think a really feel-good story this year in 3. If they go to 3A, I think they are a team to watch out for, and I think that is the Kewanee Boilermakers and Brad Swanson. Here is a coach that, you know, basically got his tutorship and his discipleship from, you know, Coach Doherty, you know, when he was at Galesburg. You know, Coach Doherty that, you know, used to be at Edwardsville, and you know, he's done some great things there. You know, and so you know, kind of look out for those teams. You know, I also think a team like Genoa Kingston could be maybe a little bit of a sleeper up north. You know, they've played really well, and they've kind of gone through a little bit of a transition there. I know Jeff Boyer is very excited about his team. I feel like they kind of almost have a little chip on their shoulder because they haven't really been talked about because they've been back-to-back, guys on the turf here the last 2 years, and very heartbreaking losses in the state championship game. And now they have something to prove. And by the way, he was hounding me first thing this morning, like, "Where's the podcast? Where's the podcast?"
Love it. Hey, 4A, real quick. I think what I find most amazing and what could be setting up in 4A, you are going to have a real discrepancy, I think, you've got powers like Joliet Catholic and Sacred Heart Griffin, Richmond Burton, and then you're going to get mixed in with some more central and southern Illinois programs. And I think it's going to be a real clash of, different styles, different types. And I think you're going to see a lot of different discrepancies, good and bad, in 4A.
Well, yeah, and I think it'd be really interesting too, kind of what happens there in the north. Richmond Burton, can they be that team that maybe comes out of the north? I don't know. I think it's going to be awfully tough, and it'll be really interesting too, just kind of see what happens because, will Kewanee, will they be in 4A or will they be in 3A?
Yeah.
And I just think, top to bottom, there's some good teams, but that's awfully heavy loaded up north, I think, in 4A.
Man, if I'm Kewanee, I want nothing to do with 4A. Get me out of 4A. Get me down to 3.
No, yeah, absolutely. We play a team tomorrow night, guys. The 1-7 Havana Ducks. We're trying as hard as we can. We're a year away. I promise you, we'll be there. We'll be on the doorsteps next year. But we're taking on a 5-3 Elmwood Brimfield team. If you know anything about Todd Hollis, he has a team that's double wing, double tight, and they just do all the great things. But they would bump up to 3A, guys. There's no disrespect, but come on. That's the haves and the have-nots, and that's the same thing. Kewanee, they want to be in 3A. If they go to 4A, it's going to be tough.
Matt, we got to snip you, but you're great as always.
Yes.
Look forward to doing the podcast with you next week. By the way, guys, we will have a 7-hour podcast breaking down 4A through 1A, and we're looking forward to it. Thanks, Matt.
Thank you, Matt.
Talk to you later, guys. All right, bye-bye.
All right, Matt Lang joining us. That'll do it for Week 9 of Pigskin Preview. Listen to the game of the week tomorrow, Joliet Catholic at Montini. Listen to Evan on Friday Night Lights. The pregame show, listen to the guys for the playoff pairing show. There, I said it. Saturday. They'll do a great job. That'll do it. All right. Show's in the books. Thanks for Coach Joe. Thanks to Evan. This is EDGYTIM. This is the Week 9 edition of Pigskin Preview here on 1340 WJOL, Will County's News, Talk, Sports. Good night, everybody.